Come explore the unknown and enter the Chamber of Shadows, a podcast for the dark, haunted, and mysterious. My name is Celine, and I am your host, joined by my co host, Endora, and a special guest today. Say hi, Endora.
Good evening, spooky fam.
Well, did we have anything we wanted to talk about, or did we want to jump
I
right
feel like I
in?
called you earlier in the week and told you, let's talk about this, but now I don't remember what it was, and I bet you didn't
You
write it
sure
down.
did.
I
No,
didn't.
because you didn't tell me what it was. You said, "I've got something I wanna talk about, but I don't wanna talk about it right now. I wanna talk about it on the episode." And I was like, "Okay."
Sorry about that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll just cut this whole part out. It's fine.
We ain't cutting nothing.
No.
Raw.
I always start like as soon as she says that, my hands start getting sweaty. Like
That's
immediately.
crazy.
Mom spaghetti.
Oh.
That's what you gotta do.
Oh, Lord. Well, what are we doing today?
Well, today we're going to talk about the North American Thunderbirds. Do you know what that is?
Okay, I have heard of it, but no, not really. I really don't know.
Okay.
I
Well,
know
that's
it's, like, supposed to be, like, a huge bird or something, but
yes. Well, I'm going to explain it to you in great detail. So,
yay. It's
so
just what I always wanted.
we're going to get in the Wayback Machine and we're going to go to the summer of 77 was filled with newsworthy events. Star Wars was released. We lost the king of rock and roll, and the serial killer son of Sam was captured.
Oh, how
And
you feel about that, mofo?
you deserve it. Um, and in a small town of Lawndale in Logan County, Illinois, was the attempted abduction of a 10-year-old Marlon Lowe. This abduction would be the first of its kind to be corroborated by multiple adult witnesses, changing the lives of the Lowe family and confirming what Indigenous Americans have been talking to us about for centuries. This is just one of the stories about the Thunderbird of the Americas.
Of the Americas, there's more.
Well, there are more stories than we sure thought there were.
Shocker. Here's my shocked face.
Although little Marlin's story is at the forefront of our episode today, here I am again explaining that this is not only a story about these creatures and witnesses. I'd like to further point out that the witnesses are not toothless Appalachian alcoholics or tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists. They are credible police officers, pilots, military officials, and everyday citizens with no incentive to fabricate. Many different Indigenous American tribes make historical references of these flying giants, calling them Thunderbirds, because they always seem to appear before great and violent storms. These are different groups of humans from all over the continent. They were not ignorant natives prone to hysteria. They were not just living, but thriving long before we arrived. They are wise, and we should respect their historic record.
I mean, I tell everybody I know, if the Native Americans believe in it, I believe in it.
I mean,
Like,
where to lie? Where to lie? I just don't
yeah,
like. Listen, they're not. It's not crazy, and they're not stupid.
not at all.
Okay. Let's start with the first official report that was given by two patrol officers in San Antonio near the Mexico border in early morning of January 1976. Officer Arturo Padilla and Officer Omaro Galvin were patrolling in their squad car when a huge dark-colored bird with a 10 to 15-foot wingspan soared across their car, almost hitting the roof. They reported the incident to command. although both officers were avid hunters and said the bird was nothing they had ever seen before. The chief reported that it was a misidentified pelican.
A a pelican?
Mhm. Yep. Yes, ma'am. Um,
Okay.
very weather balloonish. Just saying.
Pelican. Okay.
Same year, two teenage girls found themselves being watched by a 5 foot tall, scary bird. The next day, parents went back to the spot and found enormous tracks. So there were big bird tracks back there.
Ugh, I don't like that.
2 weeks later, a man out smoking a cigarette in the early evening was attacked by a massive bird with sharp talons, ripping his shirt and tearing his flesh.
Oh,
He was
that sounds familiar.
Mhm. He was taken to the hospital and treated for shock and deep wounds on his chest and shoulders. So it wasn't like they always describe how a owl, when it attacks you, tries to get your face in your head. He was grabbing his shoulders and his neck, trying to pick him up. He was trying to fly off with him. Yeah.
I don't like
Yes.
that.
Yeah. There are dozens of sightings like these in the area at that time in 76. They all just dried up. Wonder where they went. Monday, July
Like,
25th.
wait, like they dried up like nobody's talking about them anymore,
Well,
or
then nobody was seeing them in that area anymore. Like they were seeing them for a
okay.
couple of months, and then all of a sudden, nobody's talking about it anymore.
I mean, birds migrate, so
Yeah, true, 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 true. Monday, July 25th, 1977, was a typical Midwest summer day, warm and sticky. As the
ew.
sun started to go down, children are playing a little closer to home. Travis Goodwin, Michael Thompson, and little Marlon Lowe played hide and seek in the Lowe family's backyard. It was about 8:30 when the boys saw them approaching from the sky. Not one, but two enormous blackbirds coming from the south, directly heading towards the boys and picking up speed. Travis appeared to be the first target, but he followed his first instinct and jumped into the swimming pool.
Oh,
That's pretty
smart.
smart for a little guy, I think.
Yeah, that's smart.
Um, I lost my spot. Um, the birds then pivoted and headed towards Marlin. One of them swooped and picked Marlin up by his sleeveless shirt, about again, like on the shoulders again, right?
Yeah.
'Cause he's trying to get him. Um, One of them swooped and picked Marlin up by his sleeveless shirt, about 2 feet off the ground. Little Marlin screamed for his mother and punched the bird several times. Marlin's parents and another couple came running from the driveway when they heard the boy's frantic screams. They were just in time to see the boy punching and kicking wildly. His mother charged onto the scene and grabbed Marlin's legs. The bird had carried the 65-pound boy from the backyard to the front yard, about 35 to 40-foot distance, when he was released. Unharmed, but shaken up. His mother later said she really thought the bird was big enough to carry them both.
He was unharmed? Like, did
Well,
he have scratches and
he
stuff? Like
mostly, there was a little bit of scratching, I think, on his shoulders, but mostly, when he grabbed the shirt, so he was kind of yeah.
oh, okay.
The bird soared over the camper that was in the driveway and under the telephone wires, where it was joined by its partner who had circled around. Then they quietly soared north and disappeared into the large trees up by Kickapoo Creek. It didn't
I
take
like that
long.
name. Kickapoo Creek.
I know. Yeah, I thought so too. Um, it didn't take long for the story to spread. It hit the paper the next day, television news the day after that. In fact, CBS television paid a former Vietnam War Marine and combat photographer to go to Illinois. His name was John, Chief AJ, in quotations, Huffer, a chief of the Algonquin Nation. He took his canoe and knowledge of the lake to Lake Shelbyville, knowledge of nature to Lake Shelbyville, the area of the most recent sighting. He had not been there a couple of days when he hit pay dirt. Not one, but two giant black birds were in the trees just offshore. He stopped paddling his canoe and started his old 16 millimeter camera from like his combat camera. He still had it. That's crazy.
He's reeling.
The sound set the birds to flight, but he captured some really nice footage. Of course, it is disputed, but actual witnesses say the images are dead on to what they had seen. You can see the footage on all of our sources: Chamber of Shadows, IG, and TikTok.
Yay!
Um, so this guy is a combat vet, and he's also a chief of the Algonquin Nation, and he's also he's also a professional photographer, like,
Right.
for CBS News. So I don't imagine that this man is um fabricating in any way or trying to puff up some. I mean, those birds are, even if it was, those are not birds that belong there. Like, they shouldn't be there.
Yeah. Right.
So, anyway, you can see that. I sent it to you if you want to
The
look at
video?
it. Mhm.
Okay, perfect. I was trying not to look at what you sent me yesterday. I think you sent it yesterday because I was like, "Ooh, I better not look."
No, you definitely can. Um, a major contributor to pushback on this topic is the size of the birds in this story. They say that it is impossible for birds of the described size to flap instead of soar. They believe that the pecs on a bird that size couldn't support its weight, and they could not produce the energy or maintain the flapping of wings for more than a short time. Of the flighted birds we see present day, the heaviest are swans at 25 to 30 pounds. I would not have guessed that. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I mean, they are big and they're mean. But
I would have thought a condor would be a lot heavier and bigger.
nope.
It's amazing.
I don't
Nope.
Yeah, isn't a how big is a condor?
I didn't look that up.
Okay.
But, not 25 to 30 pounds.
Well, that could
I
be.
don't think I realized swans were that big. You said swan?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're heavy. Well, they're also a good eating bird. They're not a bony bird. So, and they also, like, they don't prefer to fly. They just do when they have to.
They're not a layer,
What's a layer?
like a layer chicken.
Okay.
They got that good meat.
Ew, I don't know. But, yeah, I've never
Oh my god.
I don't
No, I have
I
no
can't
idea.
even get with duck. I can't.
I'm just running my mouth. I don't like duck either.
I thought I might, but I don't.
Mm-mm.
It's a good thing too, because 'cause they're real cute, and that would make me feel bad.
I know.
Okay. Fast forward to 1979. Explorers Kenneth Campbell, and E.P. Tony uncovered the largest flying bird known to inhabit the Earth, Argentavis magnificens. This fossil was unearthed in Argentina and dwarfed anything science ever believed could fly. At 6 feet tall, standing on the ground, and a wingspan of 10 to 12 feet, she is estimated to have been 150 to 175 pounds.
I don't know why we're putting limitations on stuff like we know everything.
I know. It's irritating. Um, she was not a pterosaur, but a pterotorn from the Miocene period of 6 million years ago. Think more like an eagle with a feathered head and similar habitats, because people keep saying it's a condor, but these birds that we're seeing, the ones that are also on film, have feathered heads. I couldn't tell from the footage that Chief AJ took, but everyone that witnessed what happened to marlins said that they had white collars around their neck, not like a dog
Oh.
collar, but like a
Yeah, yeah,
collar, a
yeah.
white collar around their neck. Um, so anyway, think more like an eagle with a feathered head and similar habitats. They estimate that this bird required about 25 pounds of food a day and covered a territory of 330 square miles per adult bird, which isn't that hard when you can fly. Catching prey on the ground and carrying it to a nest on a cliff requires flight. So the whole too big to fly theory is disproven. Those birds weren't found until 79 though, so people were still holding on to that 77. Giant bird sightings didn't stop in 1977. They were reported even now, 6 already in 2026 and 52 in 2025.
There's been 6 already reported sightings this year?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, some of them are misidentifications, but all of them, that's unlikely. Well, we have a special guest today.
We do? Who is it?
We have a witness with us today. Can I get a witness?
Can I get a witness?
We think you'll find his story interesting. He prefers to have his name kept under wraps for now, so we'll use his nickname. Welcome, Uber. We're so excited to talk to you.
Hello, everybody.
Not the not like we haven't talked about him like 20 bajillion times on the podcast, but
This he's just a stranger that I brought into my home and made sit next to me.
yeah, but you know what? I'm actually kind of pissed because why does he have so many experiences of things?
Yeah. You tell me and we'll both know.
Like,
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know he's seen a lot of things that I haven't seen, but what I will say is I'm super stuck on and pissed off about the Bigfoot thing.
I'm interested in the radio in Indiana, Illinois. I get the eyes mixed up. I'm
Illinois?
Illinois.
You weren't in Illinois. You were in Indiana when the radio thing.
The race.
Oh, when I was
It was the
kidnapped by
race.
aliens? Yeah. Yeah.
Not kidnapped by
That was
aliens.
Illinois or Indiana. Yeah, that was just north of Indianapolis.
Okay, it was
And
Indiana.
there's a witness to that too. So
That was so crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
I have the video. Anybody can watch
We just need to say he wasn't actually kidnapped by aliens.
No,
so
yes.
We
No.
would like our witness today to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Not acting like such a clown.
Yeah. Something weird happened. I'll tell you that much.
Man, that was crazy.
It was really crazy. Tell us a bit about yourself, sir.
Well, at the time, you want like now or wait, here we go.
No, this is for me. That's
Oh,
for you.
okay.
You just need to. What is happening?
Just a normal guy. What do you want to say? I'm married and have a couple kids.
Okay.
Work a regular job.
And you've seen a lot of things.
I have seen more than my
You
fair
were put on this
share.
planet to be a witness.
I am
Okay.
some sort of, yes. I do think at this point in time, I have to admit that I am in tune with things that some other people don't ever seem to get the opportunity to see or hear or whatever.
So jealous.
I know, but
Does
not
happen.
for nothing. It's not like I've been telling him this for since we met,
Yeah.
and until Bigfoot, he was not down for any of it.
No.
And then Bigfoot happened, and now all of a sudden,
Well, not all of a sudden. I had to come to terms with that.
I mean, I hear people say it all the time when I listen to interviews, so that's probably real. Tell us a little bit about the sighting. When did this happen?
Okay, so this would have been in the summer of 77.
Before.
Yes, definitely before Elvis Presley dying, because that happened. When that happened, we were actually here in Ohio on vacation up in Sandusky. I remember because my mom and aunt and grandma, they all came out crying. Oh my God. Because Elvis had died.
He died in August, though.
Right. So this was before. This happened before Elvis Presley passing, my experience.
And it also happened before Marlin. It had to because you're
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, probably right before, the day before, maybe. I don't remember the exact day, but I'll paint the picture. It's a hot summer day, very hot. And we lived in one house, but we had to stay briefly in another house while they were doing repairs on the house we lived in. And we were there about 8 months, and it was same side of town basically, but out in the suburbs where they were building a brand new subdivision. Our house was new and complete, but all around us was semi-completed houses, some of which were just holes in the ground with the foundation blocks put in it, which, of course, for all of the neighborhood 10-year-old boys.
And how old were you?
10. I was
10. You
exactly
were 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you were at home, you weren't on vacation when
No,
you
no, we were
Okay,
at
okay, okay.
home. Yeah, we were at home. Like I said, we were staying in a different house, but yeah, same city and everything, which was Springfield, Illinois at the time. Westchester was the name of the suburb that they had built, still there. Of course, now it's 50 years old, but anyway, we were playing, all the kids are playing, on the mounds, when they dig out the holes, there's
Yeah.
mounds that are all around and, 6 boys start throwing dirt clods at each other.
Right,
And that
exactly.
becomes a thing. Before long, we're building forts and, you know, king of the hill kind of stuff, typical, 10-year-old boy stuff. Um, and you you I had a feeling, a weird feeling I can remember, but then all of a sudden, when anytime something flies over you when it's a hot summer day, I mean, you see the shadow, you can
Yeah,
almost feel it because it's so much different than the hot sun beating on you, which is exactly what happened. We all saw the shadow. Now this is covering 2 mounds of dirt on the corner of a dugout house. So every bit of 20 feet or more, for as far as size. And we all saw it and immediately looked up, and you could see what can only be described as a giant bird. It was huge. Um, it wasn't flapping, it was soaring or just had its wings out. It was not a plane or anything like that. You could actually see the what I would only could describe as finger feathers at the ends of their wings. Um, it was just the one, though, not two, like the story said happened a little further. Springfield is just a little south of where the famous story happened. So that happens. We see it. We're kind of freaked out. We talk about it a little bit. Just, that's the biggest bird we've ever seen, stuff like that. Wow. It did not turn back. We were not attacked or anything like that. No part of the story like that. Went home, didn't really say anything to anybody. A couple days later, we're moving back into our house that we normally live in. It's now completed. And my parents had purchased a new refrigerator. And back then, when Sears delivered a refrigerator, it came in a huge box that every kid immediately turned into some kind of fort.
naturally.
Yeah. I mean, these are huge boxes, but I didn't do that. I cut it out, cut it flat because I was trying to describe what I had seen. So I cut the box out and laid it flat on the dining room floor and then proceeded to draw it out and cut it out in a 10-year-old's attempt to make a kite, basically, is what I was trying to do to get an idea because when it's in the sky and you're looking up, you don't really have a frame of reference as to how
Right.
actually big it is. Um, and it all times in. It's kind of weird, but at the same time that's going on, that's when the news starts hitting about, on our local thing. I wish I could remember the guy's name. I want to say his name was Flip Wilson, but I might be wrong, but he was
Okay.
a famous Springfield, newscaster. He was the guy we saw every day, like, Dick Goddard in Cleveland or something, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right, 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 right.
You would just know everybody would know who this guy was when you saw him, and that was the first time that I'm like, "Oh my goodness, no, there it is right there." This is 2 days later, so
And had you told your parents about it? Had the other kids told their parents about it?
no, no, I think the way I remember it was just, we saw a big bird while we're throwing dirt clods at each other,
Yeah, and
and
you didn't think
didn't
anything
go
about
to
it.
think yeah, you really didn't think because they didn't come down and nothing like the story that made the news. It didn't do any of those things, so we
Well,
didn't
y'all were too big. You're a
well, yeah, and at the
squatch
time
yourself.
exactly, I mean, I was
Little baby squatch, and
yeah,
she ain't got time for that.
yeah, at 10 years old, I think I was already like 5'8" or something like that. It was
God.
kind of a big kid. Yeah, he wasn't lifting me up off the ground. I was over 100 pounds, I think, by then. Um, but and, kind of died away. My mom still remembers me making that kite though out of that refrigerator
Oh, does
box.
she?
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I was adamant about it, and that's when she asked, and I told her what had happened, and she's like, "Really?" And then it kind of just fades away.
Yeah.
Fast.
What happened when you told your daddy, honey? I'm sorry, but this is super funny and also telling of
No, you
that
tell.
time.
No, you tell my dad what my dad said. I don't know what my dad said.
You told I only know because you told me.
I don't remember.
Don't tell anybody. Don't
Okay,
tell
I'm not telling
anybody.
nobody.
They'll think you're crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, fast forward, it kind of goes away. That we never saw anymore. I never saw it again. I've never seen it since, um, or anything like that, or anything even close. But a couple years later, a particular TV show was on. It was called In Search of. Leonard Nimoy was the uh, narrator of the show, if you will. And of course, I was a big Star Trek fan, so I watched every episode of that. I don't remember the season, but at some point in time, they run the story of the kid that we just read, and I'm like pointing the finger, at the meme, DiCaprio meme. I'm like, oh, 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 and then that's when everybody, because it's a couple years later now. I want to say that story ran in '79, maybe, or something like that. And
With Leonard Nimoy, you mean?
yes,
Yeah.
with the episode, it was dedicated to the Thunderbird
Oh, that
situation.
tracks because I bet they talked about that bird they found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's how I do know the story about the kid. That obviously this town is just a little north of us, maybe 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
It is along, the center of the state. There's no cliffs for these things to be in, or roosting, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, what's interesting, I probably should have put that in the piece, but what's interesting is there were 10 storms, really bad storms that year. So what happens is with many migrating birds, not just these giant things that y'all saw, but they like to ride that wave
Right,
as it's coming
the
up
wind.
through. So it
Would this be like tornado storms or just normal, like,
Definitely,
thunderstorms?
yeah, growing up, I think in Springfield, I remember living through at least 2 tornadoes, close enough that houses around us were flattened. That's not really that rare, though,
it's
that
not
Right.
part of the
it's
country.
not rare, but for 10 of them to be in one summer, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like
Yeah.
this was till July.
Yeah, I do remember things like,
So,
yeah,
that's a lot
yeah.
from, May to June.
Yeah.
We had some pretty serious storms I can remember just from the heat, because it was also a very hot summer. I
So,
remember that as
yeah,
well.
they were
And a drought.
likely
I believe there
migrating.
was a drought that year as well. Because, of course, I can remember that because Springfield relies on grain, because everything around there's a cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people talk about that kind of stuff back then. It's something you just remember. But, when I saw the episode of, In Search of, that's when I realized that's what I saw. When I
Yeah.
saw those videos, listened to the whole show, the people they were talking about. Yep, I've seen the Thunderbird. So
Well well, I think one thing, well, 2 things a lot of people don't realize, which I learned in North Carolina, we have in the Huntersville area, it's called the Carolina Raptor Center. And so you can go and you can see all these raptors. And, I learned a lot when I would go there, but I don't think people realize, A, how big these birds are. It is
Mhm.
deceiving, like you said, when they're flying in the air,
Yeah.
you don't really have, like, a good visual, like, comprehension, I
Well,
guess.
there's nothing to compare it to, everything.
Yeah,
There's no way to know, like, I know people have asked me, "Well, how close was it to you?" I don't
right,
really know, 100
I'm
feet
10.
maybe? Yeah, I'm 10, and a
right,
giant
like
bird that put 6 kids on 2 different hills in a shadow. It was that
yeah.
big.
I mean, so even just to think of it that way because, I mean, you think of, like, eagles flying too. I
Mhm.
mean, think of how large an eagle is
Yeah.
alone, and you don't realize that when it's in the air. But, I don't think a lot of people realize too how much weight some of these birds can carry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of these raptors can carry, like, twice their body weight.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. I remember when, our youngest son, um, I think he drug home a baby coon or something, I don't know, but, we had to keep I remember I had whatever it was, I had to keep it in a garage in a box until morning to take it to the nature center, and, he was little, like, he was probably, like, 5 or 6, and we went to the nature center, and, she's like, "Well, thanks for bringing him in," and took all the information, and we were like, "Can we look around?" And she's like, "Yeah, just don't touch anything, definitely don't approach the cages," and we were like, "Okay, cool." So, we're, like, looking at all these really cool birds of prey that have been hit by cars, some of them were shot with arrows
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember that.
BBs and pellets, like, people are assholes, but anyway,
Yeah.
there was a vulture there and, like, they're such cool birds, but he immediately, like, zeroed in on little Ripa, like, really zeroed in on him, and all of a sudden he was like, Mom, can we go?" And I'm like, "What?" And I looked down and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's my baby, them ain't vittles, what are you doing?"
What do you mean?
Was looking at him like
He
food.
was looking at him like food.
Let me tell you,
Oh.
there's very few things in the world that are more humbling than another animal looking at you like food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
treated by a boar before.
Yeah, those things are mean.
Something
Why
else.
are they? Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, so
god.
they are really, like I would say Ripa probably wasn't, like, 60 pounds. I would say he would be
Mhm,
more like 40 or 50 pounds, but that vulture certainly was like, "That looks good to me."
mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
They will. They 100% will.
the coolest thing is to watch them. They give them a turkey leg.
Yeah.
Oh, do you watch them clean it? It's so fast, and
It's
there's
I
nothing
can't,
left.
like
Yeah, it's crazy.
oh my
Well, it's
god.
like eating dinner with Ripa now that he's an adult.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, if they what they normally what they do when you see them, whenever they grab, they immediately bite the neck. Even if they're flying, they'll reach down and
Well, yeah, vultures don't
because
do
they
that.
can't have it flailing around and maybe injure it.
Yeah,
They wanna kill it as quickly as possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
thanks for
I
sharing
know.
that
Sorry, it's a
story.
short
yeah.
story with not a lot of detail, but
That's okay.
No, I mean, it is what it is, but
it is what it is.
it is what it is.
I know for a fact
Um,
that's what I saw, especially after seeing that episode.
well, I just think it's interesting. I think it's wild, first off, that we ever put limitations on anything because we learn new things every year. So, but I find it interesting that so many people have reported seeing these large birds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, my dad made fun of me about it. I remember I didn't discuss it after making the kite. I never discussed it again until I saw the episode. And I don't think I'd talked about it with you really. Like, it wasn't something we sat around with for years or any you know what I mean? It came up in conversation at some point in time, but not
Yeah, I don't think
it
you gave
wasn't
me
like,
any
it
details.
wasn't like I was like, "Hey, let me tell you this story."
I don't
Yeah.
think you gave me any real sorry, details until we were talking about doing this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's real, but it was delightful, and you're a good witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Am I a good
Okay.
witness?
You are a good witness.
Should I leave the chat or
This is getting on a whole 'nother channel.
Um,
uh, would you do you think you would have believed I mean, you saw it from such a young age, so I guess it's hard to say, but do you think you would have believed in the Thunderbird if you hadn't witnessed it yourself?
Um,
'Cause you have some natural skepticism, like, you're not a
yeah,
huge
if I you mean if I would have actually seen it or if somebody told me they saw
No,
see
like,
that?
if somebody told you that
Yeah.
they saw it and you never saw it, like, you had a friend or somebody come to you and they're like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I saw this thing, it was massive." And
Um,
then you learn about it years down the road about people believing in this Thunderbird, and you're like, "Oh, I wonder if my friend was talking about this." Like, do you think you would have believed in the Thunderbird?
probably not, if I'm honest, because I never it's hard to believe any of it, and the way I rationalized that particular incident was the same thing as me. I mean, I am way taller than the normal person. Maybe it was a way bigger bald eagle or something, you know what I mean? Like, way it would have to be way, way bigger, but could it be just like a Andre the Giant type situation where it wasn't a species necessarily, but an abnormally sized normal bird? If it was, as the story implies, it was huge. I mean, as big as a
Yeah.
single engine plane. It was huge, is the only way to describe it. Like, it was a presence. Um, it was not flapping or anything like that, but it was a presence. I didn't hear any noise either at all. It didn't squawk or call or
Yeah,
Well, I
nobody
guess
else seems to say any of
I
that
I
either.
noticed, yeah, when you're reading the story, I'm like, I was hoping that somebody would say what it might have sounded like or
Mm-mm.
something, but
Nope, no sound.
nobody's ever said anything. I don't think there's any record.
No, and when you watch that video, have you seen that video?
That video is part of the episode. I know it's part of
Okay,
the
yeah.
episode from
Yeah,
the
because it
show.
belonged to CBS, so
Yeah,
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 that's probably true.
yeah.
But I
But
can tell you
I
that.
absolutely believed that story then because
Oh,
I
yeah.
had just seen it.
yeah.
But yeah, had I not seen it and you were telling me the story right now, I wouldn't believe you as far as
He
I'm
I can tell
concerned.
you for sure he wouldn't. He has another friend that I'm gonna ask to come on when we have him back again for Bigfoot, that saw Bigfoot, and he didn't wanna tell us.
Yeah,
Like, his boyfriend told us to ask
yeah,
him about it,
yeah.
because I'm obsessed with Bigfoot.
And at that point in
So
time, and 20 years ago when that conversation happened, I'm almost certain he will sit here and tell you that I kinda teased him about it.
oh, yeah, I
Like,
mean,
not
he was
mean.
shook up telling us this
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
It was wholly believable just from presentation alone,
yeah,
and, I mean, almost ready to cry, like, talking
Yeah.
about it, and, Uber was like
yeah. I mean, I
when we
wasn't.
went in the house, he's like, "It was just a guy in a
Yeah.
suit." I'm like, "Why? And why did he run when all the parents came then? What do you
Well, if
mean?"
I was in a
Yeah.
suit
Well, that's fair.
walking up to a bunch of young kids and I'm in a Bigfoot suit and some parents come out, I'm running away too,
That's fair, that's fair. I
especially in that city.
Well, I would
I
assume
think
that you would
that's
be one of the parents.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
yes, or
Yeah.
that, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. No, I have
'Cause
to,
we messed with our kids horrible.
yeah,
We tortured our children.
yeah, yeah. I remember when, yeah,
but
yeah,
I think that's a good thing to point out is that you're not a super, like, believe it before you don't person. Like, you're definitely a skeptic before anything.
yeah. I'm always looking for the answer or
Logical,
yeah,
yeah,
the simplest answer because that's the way you're educated and everything too, you know?
yeah,
You're looking for the simplest answer, the common denominator, whatever you wanna call it. Every different thing has that style. You're breaking down sentences. No matter what it is, you're taking something
yeah,
big and breaking it into something smaller.
yeah.
So, in your head, and plus humans just do that. But, like right now, if a Native American or anybody else would tell me about the story, I would have a completely different attitude than I would have had at that time for sure.
If you yeah.
Yeah.
Do I guess what do we think that this is? Do we think that it's something
I think
interdimensional? Do we think that it's just a normal bird that has mutated into something larger
I think
and
it's just
reproduced?
biological, honestly.
Yeah,
I think it's just a
I think the
biological
simplest
being.
answer is a just a giant, even bigger me. Um, but I would absolutely want to talk to the people that are seeing them now,
yeah,
or that have seen them recently, just because that would have because I know what it looks like and it's in my head as they're talking to me. I know I would be able to tell. I think I'd be able to tell. Yes, they saw this thing, or they really probably just saw a really big bird, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I also was wondering while I was doing this research, and I did, to be fair, I didn't come across it, but I was wondering after I read the book that is in the notes that we will share. There were so many stories, and I was waiting for somebody to make the comparison either in this book with all the stories or in the hundreds of hours of video that I watched of interviews that would compare it to Mothman, but they didn't.
No.
Nobody did.
Okay.
No,
And
it's definitely not a
I was
monster. It's not a
definitely
monster.
wondering if this bird that they saw in Point Pleasant wasn't a Mothman. It looked like it was 6 feet tall because it was almost 6 feet tall.
Yeah, maybe it was
Like,
one of
is
these
it
is
one
what
of
you're
these
saying?
birds? Yeah. Is it one of these birds?
You're saying, do you think Mothman could potentially be one of these birds?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe any of the things that
I mean, it might not be. I just kept thinking that, oh,
Theorizing.
somebody's gonna make that comparison, but nobody did.
well, I mean, it's
So,
yeah, because it's that would make sense
I
as they
agree.
describe. I mean, the statue that's there in Point Pleasant is
Would be about that right size. Oh
right,
god, it would be. I didn't even think about
just a
that.
much
But
wider wingspan.
Yeah.
it is interesting because Mothman is a cryptid, and this
Mhm.
definitely, I agree, it does feel more biological to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it seen primarily in the Midwest? Has it been seen anywhere else?
No, it's all over. It's all
It
over.
is. Okay,
Well, it's
okay.
a North
I feel
American
like
thing.
it's more well there are stories in Mexico also.
Mhm.
So it
Okay.
is definitely they say that it's the North American Thunderbirds, but really I mean, I would say it was probably from South America up because those are all the winds that they're riding,
Well,
right?
I also believe, yes, I also believe that because it's so much a part of the Native American lore, especially on the West Coast, where they,
But not entirely on
not
the West
entirely,
Coast.
but
Yeah.
that's definitely like there are no totem poles or anything in Illinois that we ever went to, and they took us to all of those places in school, because the
Oh, that
Indians
have a
played a big
Thunderbird on
part,
it?
yes,
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
at the time when
Well, that's where Chief AJ is from that area.
so it's like it's more like
Yeah.
it was someplace it wasn't supposed to be, as opposed to something that's not supposed to exist, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Do you think
Well,
it would be like a dinosaur? Or do you think it's more
I
in like
don't
a
think I didn't get that impression when I because some people have said, pterodactyl, all kinds of different things. It was definitely a feathered bird. Like I
Okay.
said, it was not
I mean,
anything.
there is the hypothesis that the dinosaurs disappeared because they grew feathers and flew away. I mean, there's a lot of people that
Yeah.
really believe that. I
Yeah,
don't,
could
but
be.
I know that there are people that do believe it. I mean,
Where do we think that this thing goes? Like,
Good
where do
question
we
too.
like what?
It's a good question too.
yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
know
That's a really good question.
because I don't remember anybody like it. It was flying due north, um, and of course the next day or 2 days later is when this happens.
Right.
The
And you
main
were
story.
south of where,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah. And you were south of where it actually happened. And the sightings just a
continue to
few
move up.
months before
We're
were in
further south.
Texas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were definitely going that way. Where were they going? I don't know.
Yeah, where were they going flying north to? It's hard to say, or it actually, I didn't see more than one, but
They were going to Greenland.
yeah, they're going to
Not
Greenland.
Greenland.
They got confused.
They got confused.
Greenland sounds cool.
Well, there's nobody
Yeah,
on there,
right.
so I figured if that's where they live, that's probably where they wouldn't be seen.
You can
So there
imagine
are like 10
though,
people living on Greenland.
the
Ugh.
thinking of it as a grown logical adult now, it's snatching up a normal sized 10-year-old if it, as big as it really is. That's
That's
not
lunch.
crazy. Yeah, that's not a crazy
Yeah.
thing at all. For something like that. I mean, you can see from our birds of prey we have in this country as it is.
Okay.
Oh, man.
I know, we could just keep going on and
I
on
Well,
know.
about this.
But
I think we covered everything.
we're
Yeah.
at 47 minutes now, so I
Well,
think
yeah, but
we
she's
should.
gonna have to edit, your good one shit out.
Are you joking that you think she's gonna edit this? She's not gonna. I want her to edit everything, and she's not gonna edit anything.
It's all staying in. Mwahaha.
Well, I think it should because that's the more real thing. I never like it when, you see something and they've edited it to the point where it's like, you start squinting your eye, like,
Yeah. I try to only take out what's absolutely necessary. Or if we say 20 times in a row, I will edit that out
yeah.
because that
Hopefully, I
is
didn't say that 10 times.
excessive.
You probably didn't, but, I was
You
reading
just did
really
it.
fast, and it sounded like I just did an 8 ball.
Yeah. I was wondering if you
Oh,
were gonna share anything.
Uh,
What was going on?
I don't share.
Oh,
Anyway,
lordy, lordy. Well, with that, I guess we'll wrap it up. We should just do an episode of us just getting on one day and talking, honestly, because
I'm sure that'll get a lot of viewers.
well, maybe you can have an episode, and
Let's
it's
see what
just
these 3 simpletons are doing
yeah,
today.
but we can kinda get an you can kinda give the background of how this little group even exists, because it's not like it would
like
be
us three.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're not normal.
yeah,
We're not a normal group. That's
this
for
isn't a
sure.
normal group of people.
Well,
We're just going on vacation. We're gonna go to a barn in Gettysburg. Woohoo! But here we are, not being able to contain ourselves, when it comes time to do it. So there's not a lot of people doing that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want to go to
yeah.
Cabo and stuff, whatever. And it's
Well, and
like,
the best part about us 3 is that usually it's Uber and I, like, bouncing, 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 bouncing from topic to topic, and Dora's, like, just sitting there taking it all
yeah.
in. She'll throw her 2 cents in when she's ready, but, like, we are so ADHD sometimes, it's unreal.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is that way with my sister too. See, I mean, her and Uber are like, and I'm like, "Yep, check."
Oh
Well, by the end of the conversation, you're like, "How'd we get here?"
yeah, yeah. That
Like, we'll start by talking about bananas and end with, I don't know, some kinda ghost on the West Coast. I don't know. That was crazy. That was crazy rhyming.
Space coast to coast.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
thank you so much for coming.
yeah,
Well,
thank you.
I'll thank you again because hopefully she'll edit out the first one.
Okay.
Um, thank you for coming. You
Yeah.
are really a good guest. That's
Oh,
true.
thanks.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'd love to. Now I want to tell everybody all the stories.
See? It's
And
fun.
calm down
Yeah.
or get your own podcast.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be. I'm going to be a professional guest.
A professional guest was crazy.
It's like, oh, here he is.
Lord.
What can you tell us about Thunderbirds? Nothing. I saw one.
I saw one.
Can't
No
tell
big
you
deal.
Can't tell you nothing else, really. It was black and huge.
Well, because I forgot to say this at the beginning, for any new listeners, welcome. We hope you enjoyed. Any returning listeners, welcome back. Hope you still enjoyed. Um, on that note, if you have anything you want to say, add, request,
Thank
you
you.
can email us at thechamberofshadows@gmail.com. Like Endora said earlier, you can also find us on TikTok and Instagram at the Chamber of Shadows. And on that note, sayonara, peace out, adios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.